Let's talk about text and how to keep things simple. We have a tendency to over format. You'll see this with kids too, and you probably noticed it with some of your students, particularly in the upper grades when they start to turn in presentations or essays that they've written. And what we find is that the more we format and the less we pay attention to content. So we really want to try to model that with our own formatting when we present ideas to students. Um, Keeping things simple includes not using a ton of fonts. So generally in the publishing world, if you pick up any nonfiction book or even a novel, you'll see that titles often have one font and then the main text has another. And sometimes the fonts that we want to try to use have serif, which means that they have a little tail at the end of each letter. You can see this in this font, actually, Chelsea. This is not the best example of it. A better example would be Times New Roman, has those little tails on it. And sans serif does not, so it's more of like a block letter. So this would be a good example of that, Roboto. But generally you want to keep it to 2 fonts per slide or per, even like if you're writing a chapter, it would be the title and then the text itself. If we start using a ton of fonts, it gets really visually busy. Same with size. Titles and headings should have one size of text, and then the other part should have another smaller size. We don't want to write in all caps. We all have that elderly relative who sends us emails in all caps, and it feels like they're shouting at us. So we know that we need to avoid that. It's better to emphasize with bold on single words or phrases, not entire sentences, because as soon as you bold or use italics or underlining on an entire sentence, you are losing your emphasis. Okay, so use those tools sparingly. Same with highlighting. Use it to color coordinate something. I'll show you an example of that. I did it on, this was not the lesson. It was in the, going to have to find it again. Sorry. Maybe in here. Yeah, I had them highlight, I had them highlight evidence. So, using the pink to show them which blanks they were filling in. So keeping it simple like that and keeping it purposeful is really what I want to emphasize when you're doing your formatting with your text. I think you also noticed on those 2 slides where you had to circle the differences that the bullets and numbering can really make a difference for how information is perceived, as well as left indentation or left alignment versus center. We should only use center alignment for our titles, like this one in the top box. Okay. Once you start doing it within a paragraph, it just looks confusing and it doesn't really make sense to have those things center aligned. I could go on and on about this all day, but these are just some, you can see it visually, I think, between these 2 slides about finding claims in a video. And this was from the 5th grade reading lesson about chocolate milk. Okay. I'm always available for questions. mcheery@isd622.org if you have questions about these topics. Thank you.